welcome back to my channel. For today's video I thought I would do another haul revisited. If you are new here, my name is Natalie. I post 2 to 3 videos a week all about makeup and beauty. If you like what you see here today, I hope you will consider subscribing before you leave, but why don't we get started? So like I say, for today's video I want to do a haul revisited, and this time I'm going back to a haul I made in July 2018. And I was just about to say this is 2 years ago, but no, it is actually now 3 years ago. Obviously we are kind of trying to forget the last year, but yeah, so 3 years ago I made this haul. So I'm going to run through in the kind of order that I went through in that video because that's how I've written my list down. I will let you know whether I still have those products in my collection, whether I still use them, whether I've finished them up and repurchased them, or I've just completely decluttered them from my collection altogether. Just to note, because I'm aware my hair may gradually get bigger throughout the course of this video, the night I'm filming this is pretty hot and humid, and I do have lights in front of me as well, so it is already pretty warm and I can just feel my hair getting larger and larger. First we have some purchases from Kiko Milano, and I do believe this was my first time trying this brand. I have gone on since to purchase other products from them. Looking at the brands that are at the top half of this list, I do believe that I picked up the bulk of these when I was on holiday. So in 2018, I think that was when I was in Madrid for my husband's 30th, if I'm not mistaken. So I think these are products I picked up in Madrid. So the first thing I got from Kiko Milano was this nail polish. This is one of their Smart Fast Dry nail lacquers, and this one is in the shade 129, which is a really pretty sort of deep navy shade. These aren't bad nail polishes when it comes to longevity, especially for a dark shade like this. It does stick around pretty well. I just don't find myself reaching for this one very frequently because I'm not a huge fan of the brush. This one isn't as bad as other ones that I've got, so possibly should reach for this one more. It is quite kind of packed and dense. I think I do have 3 polishes in total from this brand. One of the shades that I have from Kiko is a really gorgeous kind of, I think, is it chartreuse? That's that shade of like a limey green, but that one has a really fat brush on it and it's really hard to control. So I think because I haven't reached for this one in a while and that was a more recent purchase, I've talked myself out of using this one because I thought I had the same brush. I could have just opened it, but I obviously didn't, and say this one doesn't look as bad, but it is quite short and stumpy, so it's not my preferred way to apply. It's not as precise as other brushes, but now that I've looked at it and this one doesn't look too bad, I perhaps need to reach for this one sometime soon. It's a really nice shade, especially for the winter, and like I say, it does have decent longevity as well, and I don't think these are very expensive at all. Next on my list was one of their Smart Fusion lipsticks. I couldn't find this in my collection at all, so I do believe that I have decluttered this one. I couldn't even remember that I had owned one of their lipsticks, so I must have decluttered it quite a while ago. From watching the video back, it was a pinky shade, and I think that was the issue as well. I think it was too pinky of a shade, and I obviously didn't like the formula, so I did get rid of that one from my collection. Either that or it is buried somewhere, but I can't find it anywhere. Next we have an eyeliner from Kiko, and this is one of their Smart Colour Eye Pencils. This one is in the shade 02, which is a kind of pearly white shade. So I did actually declutter this eye pencil from my collection not so long ago, and I did rescue this from my box of decluttered items. I think I actually am going to film with that one next, so that video should be the next video after this. This wasn't the best pencil, obviously, hence the reason why I did declutter it. You did have to go over quite a few times for it to show up in the waterline. I never did apply it on my lash line, so perhaps that might have worked a little bit better, but in the waterline it just didn't work very well at all, and I think the fact that it was pearlescent didn't help either. So yeah, this one has been decluttered. And then the final Kiko product was a single eyeshadow. I haven't got the shade name written down, but I do believe it was either a pinky shade or a goldy shade, and it did come in its own kind of plastic packaging. When I did, I think it might have been last year's eyeshadow palette declutter, or perhaps 2019 actually, I think I did get rid of all my single shadows that were in their own plastic packaging and not in a magnetic palette, so that would have been one of them because I couldn't find it, and to be honest I wouldn't even know where I would have stored it, so that one is another one to have been decluttered. So out of the 4 products that I purchased from Kiko, only the nail varnish has survived. Then I made a couple of purchases from Sephora. The first one was of this Lip Stories lipstick. This one is in the shade Labyrinth City and is such a gorgeous shade that I love reaching for a lot in the autumn because it is a really warm shade. And this is also a really nice comfortable formula. It is a matte formula, I believe, but it's not drying on the lips at all, and I do really enjoy reaching for this one, especially in the autumn months. If we did have a Sephora here in the UK, or one near me anyway, I would definitely have purchased more from this Lip Story line because I do really enjoy it. The last time I went to a Sephora, which was when I was in Canada in May 2019, they didn't have any of these in the shades that I wanted. They were all quite bright shades, so I didn't pick one up then. But the next time I do go into a Sephora, I will definitely be picking one up because I do really like them. And I just don't feel like anyone talks enough about Sephora collection products because the few that I've tried, I really enjoy it. The next product that I got from Sephora was again from Sephora collection and is another lip product. This is one of their cream lip stains. The one that I've pulled out is in the shade 13, and I'm not 100% sure if that is the shade that I got from this haul. I do have 3 of these cream lip stains in my collection. There is one which I think is the mauve shade, which I think might be 85. I don't believe it's that one because I think that is the one I purchased in Canada. So I went for one of my 2 older ones. I think it is this one that I did purchase in Madrid. Love these lipsticks as well. They are such a nice formula. They are really thin and comfortable on. They are decently long lasting on the lips and they do dry down, but because of them being a thinner formula, they are really comfortable. And I think out of the 3 that I have, this one is my favourite shade. Like I said, this is shade 13. I can't guarantee if this is the one from the haul, but either way, I do really love this formula. And again, every time I've been to a Sephora, I have picked one of these up. So because I have 3, that means I have made 3 visits to Sephora in my life. The next thing on my list is the Amika Dry Shampoo. This is one of my favourite all-time dry shampoos. I absolutely love the scent of this. I love how it makes my hair feel. My hair always feels nice and soft and like it has been literally freshly washed. My only issue with this dry shampoo is the price point. It is £20 a bottle, which for me is quite expensive for dry shampoo. Also, at the point that I believe I finished up the one from this haul, Amika wasn't as readily available, but now you can get Amika on Beauty Bay. So I have gone to purchase this dry shampoo so many times, but because the little basket I have with a lot of dry shampoo in is quite full, I want to wait until I use some more of that up before I purchase another one. My second best favourite dry shampoo is the one from Living Proof. That one is up there in price as well. I think that one is about £18, but that one always seems to go on sale. I think my most recent purchase of that, I got a gift set which was a full size and a travel size, and I think that was £15 for the 2. So if Amika goes on sale, or if I can get a discount code, then perhaps I will pick up another one to treat myself, because I do think it is my all-time favourite dry shampoo. I'm just a bit stingy when it comes to spending money on it. Then I have a couple of foundations on my list. The first one is this one from L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal Pro Glow. This isn't the exact one from this haul because I have since decluttered that one. Only recently though, I must add, because I think it was when I had this video idea and spotted that this was on this list that I'd had it for 3 years. I thought it was time to let it go, especially because I had this backup already in my collection, and this was something that I purchased on that Canada trip. So this was already 2 years old and I hadn't even opened it. So I have since decluttered the one from this haul, but I do still have a backup of it in my collection because it is a really nice foundation. So I do really enjoy reaching for this one. The next foundation, not so much. This is from Maybelline and this is the Dream Satin Liquid. I completely forgot that I even had this in my collection. When I seen it on the video, I don't even remember purchasing it. I don't remember the last time I used it. I did shake it up when I got it out my drawer. It was at the very, very back, but I probably should have left it because you could tell it hadn't been touched for at least kind of 18 months, I would say. So I think on my channel, I've been doing an everyday makeup drawer for at least 18 months at this point, and I don't think I've featured this foundation in it once, or maybe only once in that time. I can't remember if I like it, but for the fact that I haven't wanted to reach for it, I'm going to go with the fact that I didn't. Looking at it, it does look like the shade match isn't going to be the best for me, and that probably was the reason why I didn't like it. It looks like it might be slightly too yellow toned. It is in the shade Ivory, which was always my kind of go-to with foundations, but it's got to the point now where I know I've obviously had it 3 years. It's been open for a long time. I've not wanted to reach for it. I think I just need to call it a day and declutter this one. So this one I'm going to stick straight into my declutter box, and you will see it in my next video as well. Next thing I purchased in July 2018 was this makeup remover from Clinique. This is the Take the Day Off makeup remover for lids, lashes and lips. This is a bottle you can obviously see has been well used. I'm pretty certain this is not the same bottle from 3 years ago. I do think I've purchased at least 2 more since then. It is my go-to eye makeup remover. It's only been neglected recently because I've gotten more into cleansing balms. Before then, this was the only thing that I would use to remove my eye makeup. It is still something I would consider a staple in my skincare collection. I don't think I would like to not have one of these type of products in my collection. But I am definitely leaning more towards cleansing balms at the moment. But yeah, a great product. Obviously, you can see this bottle itself was well used, and I do think this is the second, if not third one, after the one I purchased in 2018. Next on my list is a hand gel, and I presume this is just something that I threw in a basket somewhere to get free delivery. This was from the brand Mercy Handy, and I'm pretty sure I decluttered this one quite quickly because I didn't like the scent of it. Obviously, this was before the days that we needed to rely on hand sanitizer and couldn't be fussy because of a shortage of it. This was when I could pick and choose what my hand sanitizer smelled like. I think it might have been a coconut one and it was just too sickly, so I got rid of that one from my collection because it wasn't that expensive and I didn't enjoy it. Next we have a nail polish, and this is a top coat from Sesh Feet. This was my go-to top coat for the longest time. I can't remember where I very first heard about this top coat, but I must have gone through at least 4 or 5 bottles of the stuff. I then had a period where I believed they changed the formula. Now thinking about it, I think I do still have this bottle somewhere in my collection actually, but because I don't use it anymore, I didn't look to dig it out because I just presumed I didn't have it. The one that I use now is from Essie, and it is the 2-in-1 top and base coat. I just find it easier to just use one product for top and base coat rather than 2. But then the next time I purchased the Sesh Feet one, I think the formula had changed and it wasn't as good, and I found that it was shrinking my nail varnish. It wasn't chipping on my nails still, but it was kind of shrinking on my nails, so it didn't look the best. Whereas I really like this one from Essie because it does make your nail varnish last that little bit longer, and it also makes your nail varnish really easy to peel off. I know that is absolutely terrible for my nails, but I don't really like the smell of nail varnish remover, and neither does my husband. So if I can peel off my nail varnish without him or myself having to smell nail polish remover, all the better. I know it's just not the best for my nails. So that's another reason why I prefer the Essie over the Sesh Feet. I do need to give it another go because I do think they have a different variation which has a similar name. I can't remember what it is now. I know my friend Shell from Make Up Your Mind uses the other one, not the Sesh Feet one, and she raves about that. So perhaps I need to give that one a go. But this product hasn't been a favourite in my collection for some time now. Next we have a couple of products from a brand that I no longer support, but they were in this video, so I'm just going to quickly mention them. We have a liquid lipstick from Jeffree Star. I did also purchase the Nudes Vault. The Nudes Vault has since been completely used up, or shades have been decluttered that I didn't like. I do still have this liquid lipstick in my collection, which to be honest, it was at the very back of a drawer. I'd kind of completely forgotten that I had it, and it's probably already completely dried out now, so I think I just need to declutter this from my collection. But I'm probably not going to put this one in my declutter box, to be honest. I think I'm just going to stick it straight in the bin. Next on the list I have a couple of single shadows, and these are both from Makeup Geek. I had completely forgotten to get these out, so I've just had to go and dig them out now. These are them here. This one is in the shade Ritzy and is just one of their normal shimmer eyeshadows. This one is in the shade Sorcery, and this is one of their foiled shadows. I do actually have a couple of magnetic palettes with all different shadows in, and I just don't reach for them as much as I should. I always think it's quite fun to create palettes and to buy single shadows, but no matter what combination I seem to put them together, I just can't get inspiration when I open those individual palettes. The ones that I recently purchased from Makeup Geek, I think I prefer them a bit more because they did come with individual 4-pan eyeshadow palettes or empty palettes to put the shadows in. So I feel like that was a bit better because they were already immediately kind of made up as soon as I purchased them, rather than just going straight into a big empty palette and not getting reached for. So I do need to make a better effort of reaching for my single shadows. These two shadows are really pretty. They are obviously a bit darker, and I don't tend to go for dark looks very often. I think I might have purchased these when they were on sale on probably Beauty Bay, because I think Makeup Geek did used to be quite heavily discounted on there. I've probably just added them to the basket because I've needed to spend so much for shipping or something, but they are really pretty shades. I just don't reach for them as much. And then I also did pick up this mini magnetic palette. This is from Makeup Forever, and if I remember rightly, this was only a couple of pounds. This one does just hold 3 shadows. When I did have a much smaller eyeshadow collection, I did just have 3 shadows in here, and I did reach for it a bit more. but I just never go to the effort of kind of rotating them into this. They just sit in the big palette. Perhaps because I am reaching for the ones in the £4 palettes from Makeup Geek, I should stick things back in this, and then I might reach for it a little bit more. Next on my list was a lip oil from Zoella Beauty. This is not only a product that has been discontinued, but a complete brand that has now been discontinued. This was the beauty line of Zoe Sugg. She did have a lot of skincare and kind of lip oils and things like that. She then went into more lifestyle like reed diffusers and candles, but I do believe all that has now been completely wound up, so you can't get any products at all. I do remember really liking this lip oil. I think it's the one that I had that smelled exactly like the cherries that you used to feed baby Olgon, which obviously takes me straight back to my childhood. So I did really enjoy using it, but I think this one was completely finished up, and I think at the point I finished it, I couldn't have repurchased it even if I wanted to. Next, there is this brow pencil from e.l.f. This one is in the shade Taupe, and I did have another one in my collection, which I think I decluttered in my last declutter. I don't know which exact shade was the one that I purchased in this haul, but this is the one that is still in my collection. So obviously at one point I did have 2 of them, but we're now down to 1. This is quite a nice brow product. It's definitely not an all-time favourite, but for the price of it, I think it is only a couple of pounds. I do think it is worth a try if you are on the lookout for a more affordable brow pencil. It does have a really nice size pencil in that it's not too fine, but then it's also not too chunky, so you can get quite a bit of precision with it without it taking forever to fill in your brows. So I do quite like this product, and I do reach for it every so often, but I think just because I'm so used to using my Benefit Goof Proof, that's why it does get slightly neglected. But I think if I would have had just this product and never tried the Goof Proof, I would be more than happy using this. Next, there is another individual eyeshadow. This is from the brand, I think it is Mina, but it's spelled 3INA. And looking at what it's around, I take it was again something to purchase to get some free shipping, or possibly something that was on sale. If I remember rightly, this was a quite bright teal eyeshadow, and again got decluttered like with the one from Kiko Milano when I got rid of all my single shadows that were in their own plastic packaging. Next we have another product from e.l.f. This was the tone correcting powder. This was the one that had the 4 different shades of powder. I think there was yellow, pink, green and blue. I never really got the hang of how to use this product. I probably could have looked it up a bit better, but I don't really understand the colour correcting thing with opposite ends of the colour spectrum or colour wheel. I just never understand it. That's why I've never done any type of colour correcting really. I think I just picked it up because I wanted to get into colour correcting. It was quite a cheap product with it being e.l.f. At that point I was trying to get a bit more adventurous with my makeup. Obviously thought colour correcting was adventurous, but I just never got the hang of it. I never got around to using it, and I think that one was decluttered in my last declutter too. Next we have an Urban Decay lipstick. This was one of their Vice lipsticks, and I think this was in the shade Naked that I had. This one has been decluttered from my collection for a long time. I think it was a couple of years ago in one of my lipstick declutters that I got rid of this one. To be honest, I had completely forgotten that I even had this one in my collection. I wasn't a fan of this lipstick at all. I found that the shade wasn't the best on me, it just wasn't the right shade of nude, and the formula was quite drying and it just didn't look great on the lip, so I decluttered that one. And then the final product that I purchased in my haul of July 2018 was the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. So because this was purchased 3 years ago, this is the original formula and not the reformulated one, and I do have my shade names printed on the back. I do believe some people have them printed up here, which I kind of wish I did because I never refer to the back. So this is a £35 eyeshadow palette and basically contains everything you ever need. I do really like this palette, and when I reach for it I do really enjoy using it, but because of the size of my eyeshadow palette collection it does get slightly neglected. This isn't the best palette to reach for if you are in a hurry and limited for time, because there is so much choice in here, so sometimes it can be a little intimidating. But I do have my go-to shades in here that I reach for pretty much every time I go into here, because more often than not I'm not going for this colourful corner here, it is the neutral looks. I think the shades with the biggest dips in them is this one here, and I think shimmer wise it is probably this one here. That one's also getting a little bit of hard pan on it, probably because I've reached for it that much. But yeah, a fantastic palette, and I think if I didn't have such a large collection, no doubt I would have hit pan in quite a few of these by now. It is just a great staple neutral palette, but like I say, it has been reformulated now. I don't know what the new formula is like. I don't believe it's vegan. I think this one might have been vegan, but that one now isn't. Even though I love it so much, I don't feel like it's a palette I could recommend you go out and buy, because you wouldn't be purchasing the same one I have. That's everything that I purchased in July 2018. Still quite a few of them are in my collection, considering it's 3 years down the line. Obviously a couple of them that I have gone on to repurchase, so it's not the exact one that I still have. But I did have more to hand than I thought I would. I didn't think there would be many that I would still have. But I suppose, like I say, a couple of them are repurchases, so it's not the exact one that I have. I do always really like doing these hauls revisited, because it's so fun seeing what still is in my collection and what kind of products, if it was something that I was purchasing for the first time, whether it is something that has gone on to be a staple in my collection. Just a reminder that I do have a giveaway live on my channel, which will be linked in the description box below. But other than that, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.